It's so easy to fall in love with this mission. It's like you're helping people on such a basic level of humanity.
Well, that's what evangelism's about, is letting that living water that we enjoy, letting it flow out to others.
Water is fundamental to us on a human level, but spiritually, it's fundamental for us.
Yeah.
Baptism, the cleansing, renewing of our spirit, a new creation when you emerge from the water. The forgiveness of sins, like water is just so fundamental to us as Christians.
Yeah.
Just the way water is physically to humans.
We're gonna walk for the water that satisfies our soul. We're gonna
Hey everybody, this is Chris Parker with Peachtree City Church of Christ, and we're back with you again. I'm here with my good friend and brother in Christ, Jeff Richardson. He is the Deacon of Missions at Peachtree City, and we just want to welcome you once again. We're out here at beautiful Lake Peachtree, looking forward to our Walk4Water coming up on April 24th. That's a Friday night. We'll get started with our registration and check-in at 5:30, and the walk will follow at 6:30.
Hey, today we've got a special guest. Appreciate y'all watching us on the podcast episodes in the past, but today we have a special guest. A couple years ago, we had Stace Fauske to deliver us a song that he wrote that we used for our walk, and many of you've probably already heard it, but he's going to come today and talk to us about his song and just the inspiration of that song, and we're just really excited to talk to him today. Stace, thanks for coming out and talking to us today about preparing for Walk4Water.
Yeah, thanks.
A couple of years ago, you wrote a song for us, and we've been talking in the last couple episodes about our raising awareness for the water crisis, and then how that leads into also raising awareness for the living water crisis. 2 to 3 billion people that don't have access to the living water yet. And, I think Stace's song really tied that together perfectly. And I'm just really excited for you to be here and just talk to us about that process that you had of writing that song, the inspiration of that song. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, yeah, I'm Stace Fauske. I've been going to Church of Christ. I actually grew up in the Lutheran church, but started going to Church of Christ when I moved to New Mexico. That's another crazy story I should probably tell you at another time. But anyway, I met my wife at Church of Christ in Minnesota after I moved there. I brought all 3 of my boys up in the church down here in Peachtree City and Minnesota. And so it's just been a great experience for me.
What brought you and your family to Peachtree City?
I worked for Northwest Airlines up in Minnesota. And then Delta bought Northwest Airlines and they said, you have a job, but it's down in Georgia. And I was like, Kim, what do you think? And she said, let's do it. Let's go give it a shot.
Very good. Well, we're glad you're here, and we've enjoyed you being a part of our church family for a lot of years. I know my boys are friends with your boys, and that really means a lot. Talking about what you do, you work for Delta now, but maybe some people don't know this about you, is you have a pretty strong interest in music. As a musician, a performer, songwriter, has that been a lifetime thing, or is that something that came along later in life?
Yeah, it's funny. When I was young, I always was just kind of intrigued about the fact that somebody wrote this song. Somebody wrote the words to this song. Somebody wrote the music. And it just is like, what makes somebody write this song? And so naturally, I would just start writing music as I got older. When I moved to Atlanta was when I really got serious about it. And I would go to songwriter meetings, but for some reason, I don't know if I want to say ashamed or what it was, but a little embarrassed maybe, because I'm actually kind of a shy person, but I would give like fake names when I would go to these meetings.
Give me a fake name. Come on.
I think one of them was J Nope.
Okay. Don't search for J Nope on iTunes. He may not be there.
And it was funny because I would come back to these meetings and I would like give a different name and they'd be like, wait a minute, I thought you gave another, and finally I just came clean with my real name.
They were all there to meet Jay Nope.
You're kind of, when you first go, you're like, I'm sure these songs are horrible and don't want my name tied to these songs. So,
That's great. That's great.
So
And
not just
yeah, go
playing other people's music, but you really got into writing songs.
ahead.
Yeah, and you really enjoy that aspect.
absolutely. So like conveying a message to people, I don't have a platform or whatever, to talk to people or whatever, but if I create songs, I can give a message to somebody.
Yeah.
I try to write Christian songs that portray a Christian message, and Walk4Water just fell right in line with that.
Yeah, so you've participated in Walk4Water ever since we started doing it.
Yeah.
But a couple of years into it, your wheels started turning, thinking about songs related to that. So tell us a little bit about that, just the inspiration behind your song that you wrote.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, from the first sermon or talk that I heard about it, I was like, I got to write a song like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whether it gets out or not, for my own sanity, I got to write a song about that, because it's so easy to fall in love with this mission,
Yeah.
because it's like you're helping people on such a basic level of humanity that, like this is a foundation for people to exist, and that, to me, that just hit me. I'd actually written maybe 2 or 3 songs prior to this one.
Okay.
And I just never liked any of them. So when this one, I was actually sitting in church at the time, listening to a lesson, and I heard this in my head, it came out of nowhere. We're going to walk for the water that satisfies our soul. We're going to walk for the water that satisfies our soul. And it just kept going through my head. And I'm like, all right, I got to get this down. If you're a songwriter, you know this, that like, if something hits you, you got to get it down right now, because in 10 minutes, it might be gone.
Right.
So
Right.
I walked out really quick, walked through the parking lot, and like kind of sang it into my phone.
Oh, wow.
And then came right back in. And then, like later that day and the next day, I went back to it and I was like, yeah, I still like it. So maybe I should pursue this one.
I love that you
Like
said
that.
when
I
you
like
write a
that.
song like that, you write it for you. So you had there's no ambition of, hey, I'm going to sell this or play it. It was really just, I've got to put this out for me. I've got to express this for myself.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, I guess, from the songwriter's perspective.
Yeah. I mean,
It's really cool.
I think that's where a lot of songwriters come from. That's definitely where I come from, because like, if I've got something that just is going around in my mind, as soon as I, put pen to paper and just kind of write it down, it kind of like clarifies things for me, or allows me to kind of get into a deeper train of thought on it, maybe,
Wow.
or something like that. So,
And so what was it with Walk4Water? What do you think did that about this ministry, about the walk and the purpose?
to be honest, I guess I've lived a sheltered life, but like the very first time I heard this, it never registered to me before that people don't have access to clean water. And I'm like, it absolutely floored me.
I think we all kind of, that hits all of us at some point, to imagine not only the number of people, but just the fact that in the world we live in, there's people who don't have water that we run it down the drain. It's just a given for us,
Yeah, and people are just surviving and living without clean water, clean drinking water, daily water. But you really took it a step further with this song, really, I think, obviously inspired by John 4:14, when Jesus was talking about the water that allows us to never thirst again. That's where your song quickly went, and that's what really hit a chord with, I think, a lot of people at our congregation.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
It's funny that actually was so the church that I grew up in, was drinking fountain out on the floor
Yeah.
that said, if you drink this water, you will never thirst again, and it had the verse underneath it. And my mom had invited a friend of hers to church one time, and her son came with, and her son was like, what does that mean? You know, he's like, he couldn't comprehend everything. So
he probably felt like the woman Jesus was talking to and said, I want that water.
Yeah. And, you know, my mom kind of explained it to him, and you could see that he still, but, you know, it's something we've taken for granted, like our whole lives, you know, and
water and the living water that we enjoy.
And the living water.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm really curious and interested to hear of the entire song. What's one or two lines that just really mean a lot to you?
I mean, I have to say the chorus really, you know, walk for the water that satisfies our soul. We're going to walk for the water provided from the Lord. I mean, water is fundamental to us on a human level physically, but spiritually, it's fundamental for us to have that symbolism of water, you know, baptism, the cleansing, the renewing of our spirit, a new creation when you emerge from the water, the forgiveness of sins. Like, water is just so fundamental to us as Christians. Yeah. Just the way water is physically to humans.
Boy, spoken like a songwriter. Huh?
And we really need to, you know, portray that to people that, yes, here's water that can satisfy your thirst right now, but also let me share with you the living water that, you know, can help you get to heaven, help you live a better life. There's just so many benefits to being a Christian, knowing God, knowing Jesus.
Jeff, that's a great example of when we were talking about bringing Stace on and letting him talk about this. Jeff said, you know, Stace got it from the beginning. He understood the need for physical water, but the need for living water. And you wrap all that up into this, just a really great song. And I'll mention this too, and I think this was something that meant a lot to a lot of people, was when you open that up to our church family and said, hey, if you would like to sing backup on this song, meet me here at this day and this time. And we had about 18 or 20 of us, I think. And that's my claim to fame, is that I am on iTunes. And so I appreciate that.
You sang.
Yeah, we were both on there and got to sing backup. So that was a really cool thing that you were able to do.
That was so much fun. I was getting the song produced. I was talking to the guy and I was like, okay, but I'm also going to record, you know, 15 to 20 people, and I'm going to send that to you and get it put into the song. And he was kind of like, okay, well, we'll see how that goes.
I think it came off really well.
It went great. When I sent it to him, he was like, man, you guys nailed it.
That's great.
He was like, you did such a great job. But we got 15, 20 people from church gathered around, and it was just so much fun doing that recording. I had a blast, and I would love to do it again sometime.
We did too.
If the opportunity came around.
Yep.
I want to talk about another line that I really liked in the song, when you got to one of the verses where it talks about water for my family, water for my friends. Tell us a little bit about that, just the thought process there.
Yeah, well, you know, it's one thing to know about this water, but to be able to share it with people, you know, to share the gospel with people, that's the Great Commission. That's what we're called to do, you know. So, like, I'm going to share it with my family. I'm going to share it with my friends. I'm just going to share it with everybody.
Yeah. I think that really ties in really well with this year's theme for Walk4Water, Let Love Flow. Perfect tie-in there, because that's what evangelism's about, is letting that living water that we enjoy and we're thriving with, letting it flow out to others, everybody we meet, friends, family, people on a daily basis that need to hear the love of Jesus. So that living water flows. John 7:38, whoever believes in me, out of him rivers of living water will flow. And I think that really ties that in really well. Stace, I want to thank you so much for how you've provided the entertainment at Walk4Water every year.
Yes.
I mean, that's been really fun. As people are coming in from their 4-mile walk, they get to hear live music, and just really adds an extra something special to that night. Thank you so much for doing that.
We've said there's a lot of things about our community that kind of, you know, we're ready-made for Walk4Water. cart paths and all that, but also with our church and having you, we can offer live entertainment. And we got great music, we got great entertainment, and you walk in and it's like, man, there's Stace, and he's singing a song called Walk4Water. And so yeah, that really helps make our event what it is. It makes it really special.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so Stace, thanks again for being out here, being with us. Jeff, thanks for being out here too. And we love being out here at Lake Peachtree, and we are going to be back out here, Lake Peachtree. Stace, tell them when and where.
We're going to be out here at Drake Field here in Peachtree City, Georgia. Registration starts at 5:30 and the walk starts at 6:30. Come join us. There's always a lot of people around here. It's a lot of fun. We have a great time with it. It'll be great.
Play the song.
Yeah, we're still gonna walk for the water that satisfies our soul. We're gonna walk for the water provided from the Lord. Yeah, we're gonna walk for the water so we will thirst